'cause the music makes me high. And if I only got one more night, I'm gonna leave out a loud goodbye.
What up? What up? What up? It's your boy Mr. Vaughn. Mr. Vaughn's channel Sweatbox. We back. We live. We active here on the channel. Yes, indeed. You know how we do. Boom, 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 boom. We here still dodging those digital jabs, baby. And we here to talk about Godzilla versus Kong. The battle of the two titans. The Alpha Titans is what they're referred to in this movie. Let's talk about it, man. This is my spoiler review of Godzilla vs. Kong, so let's get into it. Let's talk about this rundown of the cast real quick. This movie stars Millie Bobby Brown, Alexander Skarsgård, Rebecca Hall, Brian Tyree Hill, Kyle Chandler, and Julian Dennison. Yeah. There's a couple other characters. Shun Oguri plays Ren Shirazawa, Akira Shirazawa's son from the first one. Oh my goodness, that was... Well, we'll get to all of that. What do I think of this movie? Okay. It's tough because you know what I'm going to say. Of course, all the stuff with Godzilla and Kong is epic. It's epic. It's great. It's great. They fight each other. They destroy stuff. Bang. They really go at it. It's really good. This is probably the worst human plot of any of the films from the MonsterVerse. Now, let's be clear. Every one of the human plots from the MonsterVerse films has been stupid. I think Kong Skull Island was probably the best one, with them actually being on the island, having to deal with that, and that was a legit. I felt that was probably the best one. Godzilla made no sense. King of the Monsters didn't really make much sense. This one makes absolutely no sense. It doesn't matter. We're not here for that. We're here for the monster fights. And are the monster fights glorious? Yes, they are. They're glorious. Now, the things that I like about this movie, obviously, like I said, everything with Kong, but the starting out of this movie, I thought it was really clever. The starting out of this movie to have Kong at Skull Island, but in a containment, and to have him just chilling out, showing his daily routine in Skull Island in the containment, I thought that was cool. With the cool music to it, he's walking around scratching his gorilla butt, taking showers. It was dope. I like that. That was a really cool opening. The girl who plays the deaf girl who communicates with Kong, I like the fact that she was like the last descendant of the people who were in Kong Skull Island with what's his name on the island, the crazy dude with what's his name? Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about. So that was cool. I like that. Other than that, the rest of these, I don't even remember what the point of Millie Bobby Brown's character and Julian Dennison, their whole mission when they linked up with Brian Tyree Hill. Now here's the thing, Brian Tyree Hill, he was great. His character was great. I loved him in this movie. Despite the fact that his mission was ridiculous and I don't even remember what it was, I remember his character. The first scene that he has when he breaks in to steal the files off the computer and he's talking to the dude, it was great. I loved that whole scene. It was awesome. He's such an underrated actor, man. And he was really good at this. Despite the fact that his storyline was completely pointless. The same with Kyle Chandler. I mean, he had even as ridiculous as his role was in the last one, it was still a role that had value. This one, the stuff with the Hollow Earth was semi-cool. So the team that was following Kong around, that's Alexander Skarsgård and Rebecca Hall, that was semi-cool. The whole plot about the Apex company it was Mechagodzilla, he looked cool, but the whole reason why they're doing it, stop. All these human plots were stupid. They were stupid. Again, I get why they're necessary, but whatever. No, I think I've run that. Like the whole thing with with the Damien Bichard's character, Walter Simmons, the leader of the Apex Company. He ends up being like this villainous thing. And same with, like I said, with Ren Serizawa's son. He ends up being a villain. I can kind of get his motivation because his father was killed. You know what I'm saying? Even though it wasn't by Godzilla, he sacrificed himself, but he may not know that. Who knows? The payoff we got from King of the Monsters with the Ghidorah skull was whack. They used the Ghidorah skull to power Mechagodzilla through what they basically ripped off from Pacific Rim being drift compatible. The whole series of drifting and phasing they took that from Pacific Rim and used it in this. So, but anyway, the stuff that was good about this movie is obviously the fight scenes. Epically awesome. Epically awesome. Everything, like the scene when Godzilla destroys the base at the beginning is dope. The first fight with Godzilla and Kong on the aircraft carrier when they're out at sea, epic. Absolutely epic. I mean, the scene where where Godzilla hits the boat and the boat flips over and Kong's underwater chained to the boat, that scene is dope. That is a dope scene. The ensuing fight after that on top of the aircraft carrier, that whole scene is spectacular. It is spectacular. It is. And then, okay. So then you get to the whole stuff with the Hollow Earth. He goes and he finds the axe and all that. It's the slow part of the movie. I get, again. But then, I love the scene when Godzilla is like, oh, you motherfuckers is in the center of the earth thinking I can't find you. When he drills a hole to the center of the Hollow Earth, I thought that was pretty epic. I was like, okay, I've never seen that done. That's pretty cool. And then then King Kong crawled through said hole and they proceeded to fight each other in Hong Kong. Was that China? Whatever it was. It was great. It was great. That was all awesome. And then the unleashing of Mechagodzilla. And then, of course, why did Mechagodzilla... At one point I was watching, I was like, is it wrong if I'm rooting for Mechagodzilla? He was in there putting in work. He whooped Godzilla's ass. He was putting him through buildings. I love how they just kept putting him through buildings and stuff. This is me being nitpicky as far as physics of buildings, as far as the physics of some of these buildings and the stability of some of these buildings. One minute you would have Godzilla or Kong get thrown into a building and they would just land on the building and the building would hold them up. Other times they're getting thrown right through buildings or they're getting pushed and the buildings are collapsing. It's like, okay, which is it? Again, that's just me being nitpicky. It's me being nitpicky. It all looked spectacular. Now, at the end, what we knew was going to happen. First of all, let's be clear. Godzilla whoops Kong's ass. I love how at one point they literally had Rebecca Hall calling the rounds. Well, it looks like round 2 goes to Kong, because he did kind of, once he got his axe, he came and he put the work to Godzilla. He put the work to him. But then Godzilla beat his ass again in round 3 and won. And so it was 2-1 Godzilla, 2 rounds to 1 Godzilla. But then Mechagodzilla came out from the back with the steel chair and just and turned heel. And so at the end, like as we expected, Godzilla and Kong team up to destroy Mechagodzilla, which was cool. The scene of Godzilla charging up Kong's axe with the nuclear breath and then him chopping, it was dope. It was a good scene. It was really good. I liked all of that. So and I mean, here's the thing: they didn't do a good job of explaining after Ren Serizawa died. They didn't do a good enough job, I feel, of explaining that the spirit of King Ghidorah is what took over Mechagodzilla. Because I feel like that's what they were trying to say happened, which is why Mechagodzilla went rogue and all that. So I feel like that's what they were saying happened. I did like the scene when Brian Tyree Hill and those guys got captured and they were in the room and they see the skull crawlers, and then the whole test run of Mechagodzilla where he fights the skull crawlers. That was pretty cool. That was cool. Like I said, all the visual stuff, of course the visual stuff was cool. That's what you come to see. I don't understand with movies like this, what we do with the human element and stuff like this. What do we do with the human element? Because we don't really care about the human element. It's important because it gives perspective. You know what I'm saying? It gives perspective and it gives scale and scope, because to see things from the human perspective. So it's needed from that point. Now, but this was the worst human storyline of the series. Now, I'm going to make a comparison here. This is just my personal opinion. And this is definitely just because they've used different directors for every movie. From Gareth Edwards and all those guys. I don't remember who out of, but the director that they used for King of the Monsters, and forgive me, I don't remember his name. I feel like he did an awesome job of displaying scale, size, and scope. Everything about King of the Monsters just felt epic. It felt big, and it felt huge, and it felt... I just felt that way, you know what I'm saying? That scene of Rodan coming out of the volcano is just the most epic scene I've seen in theaters. Now, granted, this may be the thing, because I didn't see Godzilla Kong in theaters. I watched it on the big screen at the house, but I got a big TV with a semi-nice sound system. But the scale was there. Obviously, it's not the same as watching it in the theater. But the scale and how this was shot, I mean, there was moments. There's moments of it. But this didn't have the scale and epicness that I felt King of the Monsters had. But again, there's moments. There's moments. Like the shot of them both standing on the aircraft carrier was epic. The final battle of them two in the city is you know what I'm saying, that's great. It's just great. But at the end of the day, the downfall, human side, upside, monster fights. It's great. So what am I going to give this movie as a grade? I'm going to give this movie probably a 7.5 out of 10. 7.5 out of 10. This was the worst human story they've had yet. And while I feel like the scope and the scale didn't feel as big as Godzilla King of the Monsters, it was still visually phenomenal. So that can't be taken away from it. So 7.5 out of 10 for Godzilla King of the Monsters. Check it out. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. And of course, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Click those notifications. We having fun, baby. Keep it locked. Until next time, you know how we do.
I'm a girl. To the ends with